about the article writing. I had an idea that crossed my mind. So there's this listing of artists, alphabetical order, because this is something maybe Tai will do for diasporic art and other subjects. So when you approach an artist, the idea is to write the description, to write the authenticity, the provenance, and all of that. But I had an idea because this is artists writing about artists, and it could have a business point of view, and it could be very original to approach that way. But I don't know what you will think about it. Is to make a piece of work in in textile for each, like a portrait of each. Could be the portrait of the art, but the expression of what it is, and you have the original artwork, and it could be a series of work with each of one being the name of every artist. I don't know if I'm clear.
Yeah, I think I got you. So let me use an example that I have seen already, okay? Like Lego. It's the bricks, toy bricks. I've seen artists using, or not artists, like people using Lego to replicate, for example, the girl with the pearl earring, or like Scream, and they use that to, even Ai Weiwei had a series. I don't know if he's continuing with the series. I think he has passed it. Replicating famous artists like Impressionists, and in large scale, his own interpretation with his own touch. Let's say he merged it with current affairs, like the refugee washed upshore to the Mediterranean Sea, the boy who passed away in the sea. So all of that. So he did a mesh up. And I was thinking the fact that he was using other artists' iconic works, that's what Greg is talking about, right? Like
this is citation. So if you rework, you're inspired by the artwork of someone, and you remake it as a citation, or citation, I don't know the accent.
I get what
citation.
You mean.
Yeah, this is a traditional thing in art to do that, and this is not really what I'm talking about. It's more like expressing the idea of the artist with the same kind of art. So with textile art, expressing the artist.
Okay, I got it.
Expressing the idea. It doesn't have to be like really the portrait of a person, but more like the art.
I got it. Like imagine if you paint Cubism, the portrait of Picasso.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I doing? I mean, you have to give an example that is more catchy, which is like Picasso or something,
Yeah, to make it. Like many people are doing that, but not the portrait. I'm telling more like the.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, nature of textile art is very not catchy. It's not even accepted in the high-end art world. It's like very unsexy. So like doing big reflection on that is hard. Like also, I don't have enough on, like, it would be nice if there will be a list of artists there, like honoring them. But
look, there are 5,400 persons in the US searching for them on Google every month.
Textile art?
5,400.
Yeah, there is like fiber art communities are big also.
So there's traffic.
There is even a magazine on
so there is
textile art.
And if this page is on the first page on Google, there are 5,000. So if it's well ranked, it's sexy enough to have a lot of traffic.
Yeah, but what I think Esra mean that textile as well as
not like Picasso.
Yeah, like even like visually, even if you do it, is not visually like punchy.
Yeah, it's so subtle.
It's very subtle. So that's what I'm thinking.
On.
Yeah, I'm thinking about though one thing that can be done, like, because that's a lot of work to make an actual textile, you know, is a lot of production. Okay. Yeah, well, there's a second point that I want to bring, because I was doing this because I was like, okay, don't forget that 2 point. Another thing is intellectual property rights. If you're doing a corporation and you try to sell it, it's not fair use. So if you do that dedication citation or use inspired by some other artist, whatever, work or idea or like name or like portrait, you cannot sell it because you are infringing their right.
You cannot sell it on the internet.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
you can make the work and you can make an exhibition with unique pieces.
Yeah, okay.
Telling about the artist and and it will work.
Yeah, I'm more thinking that when you said the business aspect, I was thinking that because we run like business articles and blogs as well, like our business. So maybe when you analyze them, you can look at them from a business perspective as well. That is their technique in textile. Is that time consuming? Is that scalable?
We did that. Yeah, we are doing that.
Yeah, like the way they produce artworks, is that scalable in whichever way?
Scalable, no. They are not scalable, most of them.
No. Yeah, not scalable. Like you can analyze their approach to art business. So you analyze it as an art business, like consultant, let's say. Or analyze their work as a gallerist, almost, not as a curator, because I feel like I haven't seen the thing, but I feel like what Esra was describing is to analyze it, like researching material, like 5-10 years in the history. That feels like a curator way to analyze. But I'm more thinking about a gallerist way. Like, can this stuff sell?
No, because then the reader should be a gallerist. And to go against what you say, Esra, there are the stories. Every time I'm approaching one artist, I think, but when you deep dive into them, it's so good and it's so interesting. For example, the guy with a family of secret agents in Palestine. And the first embroidery artist, she was forced into that, the Baos one. The first, the story is amazing. It's so, and every one of them, there's one she had to take care of a dog of a professor to go in the artwork. She was poor, from Argentine. I forgot the names.
From Argentine.
And then she was taking care of a dog of a professor, and the professor is eminent professor in I don't know, in a school in New York, and she was poor, and then she was doing whatever she could, and then he noticed them, and then she entered the art world that way. So there are amazing stories. Sometimes I feel better because many times I feel like, okay, they're all like, they have nothing to do and they go and they are Nepo babies, but there are some fighters. And there are some people from the world of terrorism or things like that. It's incredible stories. They are all incredible. Maybe some not, but and one she's telling that she's about sharing collaboration work, but in fact, her husband has an architect studio, and she's working with the employees of the architecture studio.
That I don't know.
It's in the article. It's and I had to dig in Spanish, the articles in Spanish in some interviews, because in English she doesn't share about her husband. And her husband is doing embroidery and film and architecture, and she can use the whole studio of architects to make her own exhibition, and then she tells it's collaboration. But then it's her name at the end. So there are many good stories.
No, stories are good. Like also visual, some of them are really, really interesting, fascinating work.
Ai Weiwei has a line of work with textile art. So the one that was exhibiting in Leeson Gallery earlier this year, I went to visit in January, February 2025. He had shown a large piece of kind of, you would say embroidery, because it's embroidery on a piece of textile with buttons, like tens of thousands of buttons, and making of a dragon. That was the flag from the last dynasty before the, First World War, Second World War. There was the Manchuria, and the Manchuria had a flag because when they went to the world, the United Nations back then, everybody had to have a flag, but they didn't have a flag because it's not their culture, not our culture, to have a flag that is like a country flag. They have only war flags. So they have to kind of invent a flag. And it's the only flag of this at that time that has iconic, not abstract, because everybody else is abstraction, like the French flag. It was just colors, okay? Like most of people's flag, like today Chinese flag is abstraction, but they are not abstraction. They are pictogram. It's an actual dragon. You know how dragon you would draw, like, is that? It's an actual dragon. Very complicated. Okay. So he replicated that with buttons. And he did it, of course, with madams in the countryside in China who would be sewing on a piece of textile. Then someone would put all the textile together into a mega one as large as a room.
He's doing on his computer, and then he's not making it. That's why he goes into Lego. He goes so he can make the project, and he can make a designer can make it for him. And then the designer, by the way, and then there's a group of people that are doing it, and he's not even touching it. He's mastering the thing.
And he's using his advantage being a Chinese with the cheap labor behind, and the cheap labor get paid, huh? I mean, hey, they're looking for jobs. They're crying for jobs.
It does like Kunz, Murakami. Is the same system.
Like surrogate artist. I don't know if there's a word for it. I haven't asked, but I will call it surrogate. Surrogate, like surrogate mothers. Like someone don't want to have their own baby or couldn't or whatever medical reason. Like the Kardashians, or like, so you, instead of adopt someone else's baby, you give your egg to a mother to surrogate. So surrogate production. The interesting story like that, maybe, that can be a line of discussion in your article. The ones who give other people to complete their work.
Yeah, I was thinking what is like why I am into textile, and like what's the purpose, and like reclaiming hand labor, female labor as a form of thinking and authorship, like questioning who is given to a voice within the systems of meaning and things like that. So yeah, in my with my tiny effort to kind of democratize the art world.
I heard a lot people of democratize. Yeah, I am right now in Bilbao. As you can see, I'm not in the same room as Greg. I'm in my hotel room. And in Bilbao, I'm here for the FIG Bilbao Works on Paper art fair. Is one of the biggest works on paper fair in Southern Europe. They talked a lot about democratization, labor, because it's similar. I mean, textile or paper, and paper is a bigger niche than textile, and more traditionally known as, at least recognized in art world, but also art prints. It's, some people are saying that's not real work, that's not real art, it's just print. It's also with a similar stigma. I feel like still, when you say I want to democratize something, it's still from an elitist approach for me, because the idea of I want to bring peace to the world. It feels like you are powerful enough to actually do it. And you're looking at others like, I need to save them because they are like stray cats in the street, and I need to save them because I can. It almost feel like that.
I mean, clearly mine is not coming from savory complexity of white middle class European. But like, that's true, like both sides of democratization, who is demanding democracy and who needs democracy, but who has in charge of things in the art or design world has some willingness, like some wishfulness to change the existing mechanisms. Like, for example, my architecture studio participates in Albero Natale, the Christmas tree competition, and it's like top 50 architecture studios participate in Milan. And because I'm an artist, my boss believes I enjoy this kind of and I end up helping a carpenter entire weekend. But
That's
in
good.
the end, I did like what I really wanted. So they gave me creative. We had like limited budget set by the sponsors, and it was like one of the biggest Italian food company is sponsor, and there is even a star architect among the participants. So I worked with MDF, and I did the kind of 3D Lego style, that no joints, no glue required Christmas tree, and I put some architectural figures as embellishments. So it's abstract and cool enough, but the very idea was that like, how can I kind of democratize a Christmas tree that could be super scalable? So I made an IKEA kind of manual, and I print them and I put next to them. So like, because it is an architecture studio, two people, 1 month of working and with resources. But I had the intention to democratizing and like sharing these people to
You mean open source?
But there are like tools. Also, like in architecture, maybe I understand things easier than artwork. Feels so abstract sometimes. Like, there is an idea. Idea could be like unification, the piazza, the what's it called? The large places,
The plazas.
That unification could be idea, and there are so many tricks to do that. You can change the parament, you can play with the other structural elements. And when tricks becomes obsession, like when tricks becomes idea, it feels like low-key cringe and like so kinda okay, these architects wants to be published, because like the core idea is that. So like to me, democratic design is like, you just want to make something accessible, and people because I had access to do with MDF, but it doesn't mean you cannot replicate with a cartoon. So it's a very naive trial. It's like, it doesn't fix any labor problem or the sharing of the resources in the world. Like, you need to be hyper aware of the things you are doing. So like, putting extra meanings is not needed, but why not to try? Like, okay, everyone is using democratization, so like, I don't get the stigma around it, because it's like so much still needed.
I feel like when people say that, and they expect the crowd, the other people, rather than yourself, to behave in a certain way, that's like almost like we say, democratize this. It's like people can buy it easily. Oh, come and buy it easily, or come and do this. It almost feels like you have expectations on other people, how they should behave. Like, everybody can fly. Yeah, like I don't want to fly. You know, what if I don't want to fly? Like, democrat, like they say, rain air, or South Easterns, Westerns. I forgot like some other like airliners, like Air Asia, and they say they're democratizing flying, traveling, air travel. But it's like, what if I don't want to fly? Like, I feel like there is still a pressure of this idea of democratization of something has pressure on other people. I'm more sensitive to that because obviously I come from a very interesting democracy. And also I grew up in the communist China, well, still communist China today, but I finished growing up and come out of it. And I feel like they expect us behave in a very, very narrow way, like a very fixed idea of lifestyle and ideology and values. And that's pressuring on me, right? Like growing in that environment. So almost like they say everybody can fly. It's like, okay, everybody can fly. Does it mean that everybody should fly? Because they're implicating that when I hear everybody can fly, right? So I'm just saying, like, the idea of doing this research to see how we can democratize textile art is almost like also with like pushing value to others.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
spreading.
I'm not saying that is right or wrong. I'm just saying, like,
I think it's like because paper is cheap, it is accessible to everyone, so anyone can become a paper artist. Doesn't automatically democratize anything. Like, that's the thing. Like, or like as a human rights, we can all fly, so it's already democratic. We can say like that, but not everyone can fly.
Yeah.
Anyways, everyone can create the resources. Like, I think democratization, yes, we need to use in a more responsible way, but I think if you make something more accessible, yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is democratization.
Guys,
in the art world, like there's like huge narrative problem, huge. There's just so few get all the voice, and others neglected.
I'm thinking more like redrawing the pyramid rather than having a sunk pyramid, the bottom of the pyramid market. So what I'm saying is that instead of telling everybody, rural people, developing country people can make a textile into textile art, and you are going to show them how to do that. Instead of that, I was more thinking that calling everybody who made the slightest modification on a textile, calling them textile artists, voila. But then you say, hey, if you don't have 5 years of art market experience, 10 years of study, and a lot of research on the material, you're not a real artist. That's what I almost heard. Because Greg is like, oh, they sell something on eBay, quite fun. Hey, let's include them as well. And you're like, doesn't have research for the material. So what I heard from what's your analogy?
Yeah, but calling anyone artist doesn't bring any democracy. Like, where's the third resource?
It
like,
brings.
They can call. It's just
that's exactly my idea of democracy.
The better word would be vulgarization. Vulgar. Okay, is to extend to.
It sounds like
it has a bad connotation, but in fact, if you really want to spread to anyone, is the best word.
No, popularization, popular culture.
Yeah, but it's vulgar. I know, but because we are like that, we are even the medium bottom is elitist. Everybody is elitist, but it is vulgarization, and this is the thing about democratization is the democracy was something of the elite by the Greek time. Is only the citizens, and that implies 75% of slavery. Oh, not slavery, but non-citizen and slaves. And you couldn't have a system that works with a full democracy was not existing. They didn't have machines at that time, but we have machines. Machines, they cannot vote, they cannot sleep, they cannot do all of that. So we can have the idea. And during the French Republic, democracy was a bad word. We would tell, this is a democracy. This is like vulgar, exactly the same connotation. It had the same connotation. And one other thing is citizenship and democracy implies involvement in the politics of the people. They need to know how. So there's politics. That's why vulgarization is better, because if you talk about democracy, people are involved, they have to know about
Mm-hmm.
what is going on politically. And during the Greek time, this is the origin of vulgarization, is idiotes. Who is an idiot? An idiot is someone who just take care about himself and is not involved in what is going on in his country. He's just an idiot. Like, don't take care about him because he doesn't take care about you. So the nobles and the people like that during the late Byzantine Empire, the Roman Empire, they were telling about these guys, the people working in the field, they don't have any idea. They are just idiots. Not idiot like the way we tell today, but it's the same. So I think democracy is a lot of ideal system of where it's just about spreading to everybody, even the people who doesn't give a fuck about politics. It's what you are trying to do when you place it on the agora, on the place. Should be the place where there's a politician was telling to the crowd, and today you put a tree, a Christmas tree, so it's a Christian. So and you talk about democracy, so it's why it should be about vulgarization, spreading a concept, an idea, or an aesthetic. By supporting the idea of democracy is working.
Yeah, I'm checking the definition. I don't know. I would call them like giving an access or something. Is like
to access what?
To people who has demand.
Yeah, spreading.
Demand to access what? Textile art?
Yes.
Or to access textile as a maker or as a consumer?
In the both sides.
So
usually
I don't have any successful story to democratizing art world. So
but
I mean just democratize one design in many years in architecture. So it's not so easy.
But the fact that you're not a Christian, right?
No, totally no.
Yeah, so I would say I wouldn't.
Nobody is. Yeah.
Well, here, right? So
Google is Christian.
Who?
Google. The owners of Google are Christians.
Okay, I'm like Google. I'm like that's a trademark, but they use your ideas and your attempts to do a project to promote Christianity. So I feel like if you really want to,
there are some designer masters who were in the Communist Party in the past, like Bruno Munari School of Thought, and they did lots of design in Italian School of Thought. It exists like democratization of art and design, and honestly, when you see the people's awareness of like general people's awareness of art and design, I can say it works. Like you don't need to be very elite in Italy to talk about design, and it's like it was so unrelatable to me when I first.
So during the time of Mussolini, we call that fascism or futurism, and there was the architecture, fascist architecture, and so this is democratization of fascism.
No, democratization of housing.
No, the architecture was promoting the idea of
yes, Mussolini was like
brutalism,
really
kind of brutalism.
We have those kind of. I grew up with those buildings that are built in the communist era to mass housing, like housing for working class, but a lot of them copy paste.
So it's more like the government building showing strength.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a cube, the most famous one, and it's just like square blocks around it.
So this is democratization of fascism, or you can tell that?
Yeah, you can't spread anything. I think that is just propaganda. That's not democratization of fascism.
Yeah,
no, that's aesthetic. But that's not, because democratization,
it's through aesthetic.
It's scalable. You cannot democratize something with one person knowing or getting it, right? So it's about masses. It's about quantity.
Yeah, exactly.
It has also, to me, it has a lot to do with resources. Like actually, in the very idea of museums in France, like they were not. They weren't allowing the working class to enter. Like their timing was like so impossible, and it's such a recent democratization in the human history that working class can technically, of course we can discuss if they have the resource to go, if they go or not. But yeah, it's like democratization is could be fake.
So it's giving the access.
It's progressive. Access. It's progressive because before the Napoleon era, there was art only for rich people in the rich people's houses, and there's not a collective public museum to keep and show and curate and support local artists or new artists. There's not even such system before Napoleon. So the fact that having public museums that is open to the public, even for 8 hours a day during the time they work, that's already a progress.
And I wouldn't call it progress. It was just to tell French people who they are. Like it was just like, let's make a French nation. Let's create some narratives and let's inform people. And of course, they start with the high-end, like high-class society. Then at one point, they decide to teach also working class.
And before Napoleon, there was no TV. There was not many machines, so everybody had a time after work of what we call creativity or aesthetic. They would make clothes for themselves or shoes or decoration. Everybody was working at home and producing stuff, and it was not called art, but everybody had that. But then with machines, the aesthetic was appropriated by managers and CEOs, and then we couldn't make stuff, and everything visual is produced under the order of a very few group of people. So they took that from us. Everybody was artist, in fact, before. Everybody.
Yeah, so not need 5 years of art, market experience,
no, but
study material.
Antithesis of elitism is not lack of depth, right? Like, yes, we don't want artwork to be elitist, but depth would be still a useful tool of thinking.
You don't want. I didn't say I don't want.
No, more is like I mean in anything, like if I work with a carpenter, I would work with the legit one, like who spent 5 years in the field.
Yeah, right.
Like I don't see any problem of that. Like
it's like a
surgeon.
Yeah,
like
a surgeon. Yeah, you don't want to be operated by a surgeon who will graduate next year. You want one that has already.
At home every day after work.
Yeah, like heart surgery democratized. You can do it from your kitchen.
No, I think textile is also by nature it's more democratic anyways. Like someone like me can do in train. Like it's not like painting. You don't need so much to become a textile artist. Like you need to just find the little resource to get textile and get threads and make time. Of course, time is also a resource, and people who went so depth in their research are the ones like who probably didn't have a day job, but still it doesn't stop me to appreciate that. Like
But the fact that you will not call certain pieces art or certain profiles artist, like the one who made the hotel curtain, you know, or some other persons that, for example, just last week, Greg has a summer trousers piece broken because it's from a very fragile textile. And I use a needle and a piece of, even just a piece of rope, not even like a proper cloth, because I didn't have it with me. So I just used a rope from like packaging something, you know, but because it's cotton, I cut the rope and I sewed it on top to make the textile stronger and keep the trousers working. So am I doing, you know, textile art? Or if you start to say, if you don't have a you know, PhD in textile art, you're not a textile
well,
artist.
you are twisting my words.
Or like if you say 5 years, you know, or if you say research, or if you say this person who did this is not.
Repair pants, of course you are not a textile artist. You are
okay, so what is textile artist? Where does it stop? Where does it begin?
It's just like any other job. Like you can't make it, even like studying law doesn't make you lawyer automatically.
You have to pass the bar.
Like anything, like it is a practice. It takes practice. If it's your practice, yes, you can call it. If it's not your practice.
Okay, so what if this person who did the curtain had 20-year practice making this curtain? And he made many, many curtains, or likely it's a she. So how do you call that?
He self-define himself like a worker, factory worker.
What I mean,
like why I have to define that person as an artist or not? Like, would he
for example, Alexandro Rolandi made the 100 Chinese factory workers into artists. Okay, and every Friday they have the opportunity to dedicate half a day to art, and they can do anything, and they're a factory worker and they're artists. What I mean is, if you have the idea, a true idea, to democratize textile art, for me, my opinion would be to include more people that are trying to do things with textile as artists, rather than, oh, let's bring research and let's bring this to more people. If you want to bring research or like the more rigorous practice,
like bringing, I really like Alessandro a lot. I appreciate so many of the things he does. I've never been this factory situation. It sounds cool and interesting, but it's an art project. It's just pushing the boundaries. He didn't change the society at the end. Like, it's
nobody
a
can.
project. It's an art project. For sure, it touched the life of the conditions, like who were there. It leads some questions, but it can apply. Like, you can do in that many different scales. Like, I'm just saying, like, why to give up? Like, I don't know. I don't want to be super trapped myself in the anti narrative. But yeah, I mean, this there's so much like self-criticism in the ideology, and like even it's so not parallel how you live and how you think, and the idea of ideal world I would like to continue in the, like, I'm thinking a lot, like, how would be the architecture and art in the future, or like this anarcho saved regions. I had been in Kurdish region in the past, and also in India, and like these are my very ideal way of living, and that's the real democratization, because no one has no title. They just sustain their living. But it is so hard to respond, like, why not? I'm also thinking, like, why not a broke person cannot have an art piece? Like, they already have so many commodified objects. Why not art piece?
For me, the problem is not because this person cannot have. This person has. You just don't call it art because this person don't have 5 years university degree, and you just don't call it art. That's the problem.
No, like, still poor is poor, resourceful is resourceful. We can call everyone artist, but it doesn't change anything in the art world.
And
that they will find another name to separate themselves. Like, it's like, I have no problem with people calling themselves artists.
And Mo is telling you that she's pushing you, but she's making a PhD, so
I'm a good dog.
Really,
I'm
yeah.
a good dog. I'm a good dog.
So
yeah,
I think it's a shortcut. It's a shortcut. It's easier that way in the society who had this ranking system, and it's easier that way. And some creators, sometimes they find someone. Gary saw curators. I think there was a movie about that. I forgot the name.
Night Animal, that one?
Yeah, they found an artist that just died and he was not existing. He had no studies or whatever, and he produced a lot of work, like
Super
a
Old
lot.
Woman in New York.
Yeah, that's Nanny
Yeah.
Photographer, that one?
No, it's a painter.
The Night Animal is a fiction, not
Yeah,
a
Night
documentary.
Animal. Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
Night Animal. Yeah, I know
yeah.
all of those films about artists probably.
And this is they solve because you need a stock, okay? In the art world is economic system. You need a stock of work, and then you need the value, and then you put it in the market. This is the art world. This is nothing else. This is like real estate for art. And this guy didn't have any studies, or he just painted all his life. So he had investment in time, and then he created the value, and he's dead. So this is perfect. And so they made the fiction, but I'm sure there are stories like that of nearly dead or dead artists. Nearly dead can be better because you can still contract before. No, but that's true. Huh? That's true.
Nearly dead artist. She's so
Well,
Yeah,
if someone smokes and drinks and does drugs, you are guaranteed
exactly
that he's
like,
nearly dead.
There are men, we call it viager in French, men or women trying to find older men or women to marry, and then they
Gold diggers.
Yeah.
Gold diggers.
And
Gold
then they
diggers.
put the inheritance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a common practice.
Yeah.
So in art is the same. You don't marry. You just and then you write the discourse. You write everything. You publish books.
You create a brand.
And then you sell. But yeah, I still think but you think about it. It can be made by a group, but I still think it could be a good idea to have a series of work on the expressing, not illustrating, expressing the idea of the artist, and each work is in your collection.
I actually have a better idea.
Okay,
is that I mean, based on what you have, based on your idea, I do it better because I mean, I think because it's exactly your idea, but I multiply like a Chinese.
Have a PhD soon,
no,
so
because I am Chinese, I'm a copycat.
Okay.
I can appropriate and then
true.
Right. So
PhD
your idea. So instead of Esra doing it alone, and she already has a day job and other things, I'm thinking you were talking about bringing either to the maker or to the buyer the democratization of textile art. And likely from all what you've been saying, you don't mind, let's say, calling certain people artists when they don't have the degree, they don't have the too much experience, but you mentioned you don't mind calling, but you still have a standard. That's what I thought.
Because I need to be sure if they have the practice of producing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What if, let's say, we recruit, okay? I'm saying recruit, not as really to have them in my home. Let's say online, we recruit like a sub-community, like a Reddit, you have a sub-thread, okay? Let's say 15 to 20 textile artists who are really young, who want to be, but not yet recognized. In order to democratize textile art, we grow them. We put the community talk, let's say, we include them in the community talk. We suggest them to involve themselves in creating works like what Greg just said, okay? And then after several years of continuing following and integrating into a community, then they can legitimize themselves as an artist because they are involved in the community of art. They are following up, they are doing investigation, research and stuff, like even as a collective, that's not like you do research alone, it's more fun. And you can lead that and you can say, hey, I have a think tank of those 20 artists who are like super emerging out of school, straight out of school, or even like in rural places, they don't have the resources, but you really democratize them by bringing them together and up.
It takes like so much dedication and reliability to work with people already, and I have problems already in my existing relationships. I would like to have a community, but I already have a community, and like to continuing that is hard, and I can postpone my democratization idea in art, but when I get
when it's actually doing some job, and then it's like it's for someone else.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing it to show you how it's not possible to democratize. Because the idea is fun.
Like, let me be rich first, then I will do it. Like, the point of democratization, you need to have, like, I'm speaking from the people who have like power side of the story, but it could be like even micro action. I don't want to sound like a liberal, but like you can do so many things about it, like so many things. Like instead of feeding who has the voice, you can take so many micro actions in the day. If you are someone in the art world or the design world, there are things to do. But
you don't even give a chance to the young artists who are not 5 years in the art world. Even your article don't give them a chance.
It makes change, and that so many small changing can create a base to change bigger things if people still take action. I'm not like so passive, like that small changing that won't automatically change the things, but it would let people to talk each other and organize better things. And then, I think that's like we cannot completely neglect that, like wait just for the biggest platform. It doesn't arrive. There's no union for architects where I'm living. Literally, there isn't. So like we are just two people. Like there's one union in whole Italy, and in my city we decide to register another British girl, so no Italians. And like you need to try it. You need to like tell your colleagues to ask more and do things. And but doesn't like it is not that naive that democratization of art world will solve the problems of the art world. But I think it's just it's not a like linguistic problem alone, or like giving the artist community, like that's actually, to me, it's more savory complexity because like maybe these Etsy artists are just so happy. They are probably making more money than many other emerging artists. And who am I to tell them like, look, you are an artist, your work is so valuable. And what if they tell me thanks? And like, what if they have no interest to do community with me?
Why not?
Like, why I'm putting myself that I know better than them and I'm democratizing. Like I can democratize things if it's in my control and if I'm in charge of it, no?
Oh, you mentioned the word. I don't want to democratize nothing. I want to dictate.
No, but that's true. If you contact them, you risk nothing.
Yeah, my idea is you can include more younger, even more emerging artists who are literally straight out of school. Like you do a section, you include more people like that than the dead famous artists who everybody knew. They don't need another article. They don't need another mention.
Email, yeah, like how can I need some level of reliability, some level of practice.
Them.
Like what
you quote them. You say they said that. What if they lie to you? You say they said that. You have a screen capture of their, like, say, like of their email. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying publish the screen capture, but like you have it. And if people say, oh, this person lied, and you say, hey, I am just a vessel. I'm just transcribing what this person told me, and this is the proof. It's not me who said that, okay? You quote them. So you quote them, they lied, it's their problem. It's not your problem. You don't lose credibility.
Nobody cares. Nobody will verify anyway.
And also, what if in 5 years they're not working in art? Mainly, likely they couldn't. They have so much holes in their discourse. It's like a wind is passing through, and they couldn't, you know, grow up or blow up because they have so much, let's say, lies. Eventually, they would explode. Therefore, then you just remove that section in the article, right? Like in the meanwhile, you're not, whatever you're published, it doesn't have to be the truth carving in stone. It's if
Then,
you can
like,
you can change
it
after.
would be even more democratic if we do open call, because like
Yeah.
now it's solely rely on my personal tastes.
For example, we do first 8, okay, like the mid-career one, you write, and then in the bottom, you are a textile artist, you want to be featured, write us an email. For example, we did that with Artist Studio. With
there is already the whole magazine about it, by the way. There's Fiber Art magazine. I will check if their fee is high. Yeah, if to do that free would be democratizing.
Yeah. Yeah, but at the end it will be subjective anyway, because you cannot put everybody, because there are things. It's about taste, so it's about the judgment of distaste of the other work. So you have to judge.
No, but I have to then prove.
If you are nearly vomiting when you see the work, it's because of your education. If you
then
don't
I
like
have
something,
to democratize the gusto as well. What a
so
trap.
then you have to tell, sorry, you are refused. You are too bad. So it's even worse. No, it's even more difficult.
Yeah, I think democratizing taste is the second problem.
Yeah, I think keeping it simple is good. It's just that I had a business idea that could be good. That if there's, I would be a collector of art in textile, and I see there's like a series of by the name of all the artists I know, and there are a series of work I would be interested. I mean, I dealt with I sold art in galleries, so I know this kind of people. They are fetishists, and they are. If you make a series in this exact thing, and you show that you learned a lot of the artist, and you're expressing it, and you express it a good way, it could work very well. It's just an idea. But yeah, visiting a school, but that would be more our work, like very private galleries work, like for us to visit a school of textile artists, textile art, and to tell, okay, we get to see a professor and we work with a school and we make an article and we make work, and it's just it could be another idea, but then it's not business, it's about it's culture.
Yeah, just to go back to what Esra said about the Fiber Art magazine, it's called Fiber Art Now, right? And every 3 months they have a open call, not perfectly 3 months, but roughly every 3 months there is an open call that lasts roughly 1 month or 1 month and 1 week. For example, there is one that is valid now until the 8th of December. The submission fee is €40.
I just saw the link.
Yeah, and it's up to 3 works, and they need to be produced after 2022. So in the last 5 years. And if you put the code VIVID, it's $28. There's a discount. This is really business, huh? They are doing business based on artists' hopes of getting featured, and they are not democratizing nothing.
No, totally. So, I didn't say they are democratizing.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
they already exist.
What you can do is, what we can do is, we are open for submission for free. Therefore, we are democratizing a little more, right?
It's true.
Well, there's another idea I just had.
Uh-huh.
1 second. I just check we are similar in influence with this magazine. So we have a similar authority, or they have a bigger authority on fiber art, of course.
Yeah.
But online in art, we are similar, very private gallery. So we could join, we could contact them, and when we have more artists, and propose a collaboration with them. So when we have more like artists, we could say we could invite someone from their group to give to participate. There's a possibility of collaboration, so it could give you a good contacts there.
Yeah, people who are featured in fiber art.
Which magazine? Fiber art?
Yeah. Fiber art now.
It could be an idea. We could contact them because we are similar. We are same size and not in competition. So
yeah, I mean, I don't like this magazine so much, but if you feel like it,
no, it's if you it's
no, I don't.
Open door. No, okay.
I don't like their.
No, it could
editorial.
It could be profitable for you. It's not good.
Yes, there's so business. No, I'm very.
Okay. Yeah.
I have also like so many works going on, and I'm trying to create my curator base with my own contacts. So.
Okay.
I don't think I can jump international.
No, it's not that. It's just contacting them. It could be a gallery. If there's a gallery just in fiber art, we could ask.
Yeah, gallery
like participate. Like you could contact them and okay, I'm doing this work, and if you want to work with me, and it could be transparent, so it could be good in for your networking. But yeah, I think we explored a lot.
Yeah, I have to leave now because I have to catch up with dinner.
Oh, cool.
Thank you.
There is a grant from the Fiber Art Now. I sent you a link. So maybe
that's interesting.
I know, but maybe Esra, because Esra is a fiber artist, right? So maybe she wants to apply for the grant just in case.
No, I don't think so.
No, I mean, I just want to produce. In this phase of my life, I just need to produce a lot.
Okay. So thank you, and thank you for calling because we would be just us two. Nobody.
Just the two of us.
It was very nice discussion.
Thank you.
My boyfriend is already giving me hard times about like my democratization of Christmas tree looks like exactly IKEA manual, and he's now in the car. I need to defend my idea how it's democratizing because he's saying in your logic IKEA is the most IKEA is communist. So thank you, Mo. It was a nice practice.
I was just teasing you, you know, all of that. So
I'm prepared now.
Okay.
See you next time.
See you. Bye.
Bye.